निष्काम नित मेरी, न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
बाढ़े भक्ति निष्काम नित मेरी, ना मुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
बाढ़े भक्ति निष्काम नित मेरी, न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
बाढ़े भक्ति निष्काम नित मेरी, ना मुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू, सेवा 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 मांगू, क्षमा श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू, क्षमा श्याम तेरी, ना मुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
A very important point is being discussed in this kirtan. When we go before God, the question that arises is, what should we ask from Him? There are two options. One is bhukti and the other is mukti. Bhukti refers to the things of the world. Basically, the word means material pleasures. So, that is the reason why people go to God. They are distressed in the world, hence they go to Him. Or they want something, and to fulfill the want, they think God is the best source. Isn't that the reason why 99% of the people go to God? But out here, the author is saying that I am not going to ask you for bhukti. When we go to God for material reasons, we forget that there is a law of karma in place. The law of karma states, whatever you did, you will bear the consequences. Jo jas karai, so tas phalu chakha. So whatever suffering we are getting is a consequence of our past karmas. Now we say, oh God, I will offer you 5 kg laddus, you please mitigate my miseries. So God is the dispenser of the law of karma. It's like going to a judge and saying, Your Honor, my case is in your court. I'll give you 5 kg laddus, you please do my work. You know, presently there is a matter going on in the US where it is suspected of a Supreme Court justice that he took bribe. Now what about God? Is God also susceptible to bribes? Oh God, by my karmas, this is what I deserve, but I'm giving you 5 kg laddus as bribe. And there also I don't have faith, so you do my work, then I'll give you the laddus. Why don't you give them right now? If the work is not done, my laddus will go waste. So, oh God, you do my work, then I'll give you the laddus. Now, even in the world, People have that much of trust, right? When they go up to a government official, you do this work, I'm warming your pocket right now, you do the work later on. And with God, we don't even have that much of faith. So God is not corruptible. He says, as you sow, that shall you also reap. This is a universal law of God stated in all the religions of the world. So we need to have faith in this law. And the point is, God can sometimes break the law. But even for his breaking the law, there is a law. Which means, if the soul is deeply surrendered to him, in that case the law can be waived. In that case, God says, all right, there is a second law which comes into place, which is the law of grace. And according to that, I will then have the authority to wipe off your karmas. But if we have reached that deep level of surrender, then why are we asking God for these little trinkets? It is like the child in the jewelry shop. If you put a little child in the jewelry shop with so many priceless, precious stones around, and put a little Hershey's chocolate as well, and say, beta, any one thing that catches your fancy, you can pick it up. What is the child going to pick up? Not the jewel worth $500,000. The child will extend its hand to that chocolate, because its intellect can only understand the value of the chocolate. What are these shiny objects? Mommy, Papa may be fascinated by them, but they're definitely wrong. They can never outweigh the pleasure that a chocolate can give me. Now you all are laughing, but the fact is that from the divine perspective, we are also doing the same thing. Oh God, give me this. And God says, I've got so many better things in my divine abode. Now, as per the Hindu scriptures, Kuber is the god of wealth. If you met Kuber and said, Kuberji, please give me $50, Kuber would laugh. Oh my God, he doesn't know my powers. Once there was a beggar sitting in Mumbai by the side of a bridge, and he was saying, Babuji, paisa. One millionaire went by and he said, I will not give you money, I will give you a lottery ticket. So he handed a lottery ticket to the beggar. And a correspondent was coming behind. He asked the beggar, in case you win the first prize, which is a limousine, what will you do then? You have now got a lottery ticket, and the first prize is a limousine. In case you win it, what will you do? He said, then I'll go around begging in my limousine. So his intellect stops at that point. Likewise, our intellect stops at material things. And in the realm of God, there are so many divine things called Brahmanand, Premanand, etc. So the point is, since our intellect is stuck in material things since endless lifetimes, If we go and say, oh God, give me this and give me that, the chances are that we'll ask for the wrong things. A safer policy is, my Lord, I don't know what is good for me and what is bad for me. But you are my eternal well-wisher and loving Father. I leave it in your hands. You decide what is best and please do it. मेरी चाही मत करो, मैं मूर्ख अज्ञान. Oh Shri Krishna, even if I ask you, don't listen to me. I have this weakness, that I'll come and ask you, but you please don't listen to my asking. मेरी चाही मत करो, मैं मूर्ख अज्ञान. तेरी चाही में प्रभु है मेरा कल्याण. It is in your wish that my welfare lies. Now, when you put the onus in God's hands, He then has to decide what is best for the soul. And He will then take full care of the soul. So wisdom lies in the fact that you develop trust in your eternal Father. Well, that makes sense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written, Krishna kahe, amaye bhaje, mange vishay sukh, amrit chhadi vish mange ei bodo murkh. Shri Krishna says, this soul has come to me, the ocean of nectar, and is asking for worldly pleasures. Amrit chhadi vish mange. The soul is rejecting nectar and asking for poisons. Ei bodo murkh. This soul is not intelligent. So a little bit of deep thought brings us to the conclusion that we should not ask God for material things. But here, Sri Maharaj Ji writes, I don't even ask for spiritual things like liberation. So liberation is considered the highest purusharth in our Sanatan Dharma. There is Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha. These are the four attainables. Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha. So what is the goal of life? Most people will tell you it is moksha, it is liberation. It is not a material desire. The desire for liberation is a spiritual one. But there is one defect in it. And what is the defect? Liberation is also a form of selfishness. One person is selfish for material things. One person is selfish for spiritual things. I want mukti. Why do you want mukti? All my miseries will cease, and I'll be free from all bondage of Maya. So, this also is a form of self-seeking. It's not wrong. So many of the scriptures have propounded it as the ultimate goal. But when Ved Vyas wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, he rejected mukti. He said, Dharmaha projhita kaitavotter paramo nirmatsaranam sadam. In this Bhagavat Puran, I am going to give kaitav rahit dharma. What is kaitav rahit dharma? Dharma that is free of defects. So he then goes on to describe the param dharma, which is prem, which is divine love. This param dharma or prem is an astonishing thing. because it binds God Himself. He who is ever free, he who is the administrator of Maya, gets bound by the shackles of the devotee's love. Such is the astonishing nature of prem. So this prem, this divine love, if we wish to have that, we will need to understand its formula. What is love? Now you ask a teenager what is love, and teenager will say, it's deep affection. The Greeks, they had these three classifications. One they called eros. The second they called philios. And the third they called agape. So eros is the kind of sensual love that would happen probably between husband and wife, etc. The goal is sensual delights, that is eros, hence the word erotic. And the second is philios. Philios is that kind of love which is a deep, long-standing affection, as with a 20-year-old friend, where there is a lot of respect and loyalty and commitment and willingness to sacrifice. It's going beyond mere sensual things to a deeper affection. And then they understood there's a third level of love, which is agape. That is causeless love. It is the kind of love which God has for the souls. Unconditional. And that is true love. Now, if we want the highest thing, we must learn unconditional love. Unconditional love means what? I am not loving God because I want something from Him. That becomes a condition. Avirbhava dinena yena gapito hetus. Hetu means condition. Hetus tadiyanapi kshiye tapina chaparadi vidhina natyanayo vardhate. The moment we love God, somebody with conditions, it becomes conditional love. And that conditional love doesn't last in the world. Have you ever heard of a love marriage that remained sweet after 7 years as well? 4 years is the average, statistics reveal. After that, I hate you, you spoiled my life, etc. What happened? It was like love at first sight. And then after that, what happened? Divorce at first fight. So it was not unconditional. The goal out there was my happiness, my beloved is giving me so much of happiness. And that happiness is reducing, the love is also reducing. One newly married wife was so beautiful, and her husband loved her till the end of the world. And she was so overwhelmed by his affection. She said, "Darling, when I am an old lady, will you still love me like this?" He said, "When you grow old, I hope you will not look like your mother does. Otherwise, all my love will disappear." So people who have this misconception, I love my husband, my wife selflessly. I say, okay, just consider this hypothetical case. That your young wife, she went to sleep as a 25-year-old. And when she woke up in the morning, She was an 85-year-old. Suppose, will you still love her to the same extent? Hare, Swamiji, who will love this old hag? Now the whole love has disappeared. I am not criticizing it. I am just giving a critique that this is the nature of the love we have practiced in endless lifetimes. Now what God expects from us is that agape love. It's a selfless love. And the power of the selfless love will be, it can never be destroyed. Where we see qualities in love, it's great initially, but when the qualities disappear, the love also disappears. You loved Lata Mangeshkar for her voice, and when she grew old and her voice got damaged, then all the love also got damaged. So such worldly love, it goes up and down because of selfishness. And there's a great danger, it can disappear as well. Likewise, if we come to the darbar of God with selfishness, and that self-interest is not met, then we say, God is not so good. First time I went to the temple, I had this prayer in mind, oh God, may my son get all right. Now God is a Nyayadhish, why should he listen? But by chance the son got all right. Say, oh God is so nice, so wonderful, he listened to me. And then what happened? Then my faith increased. But there is no end to desires. Tomorrow again you went. Oh God, yesterday you cured my daughter, my son. Today, please cure my daughter as well. Now let's say this time your wish did not get fulfilled. So that devotion which had increased, you'll say, what does God do? He doesn't listen. He's so hard-hearted. It will disappear. And if we are selfless, there is no question of love decreasing. In fact, the test of true love is exactly this. How do you know your love is true? Here is the best definition of love. It states that where there is a cause for love to explode, sarvatha dhvansa rahitam satyapi dhvansa karane yad bhava bandhanam yuno saprema parikirtitaha. Where there's a reason for love to be destroyed, your beloved has behaved in such a terrible manner, and yet it remains intact. That is a sign your love was selfless. Now what happens in the world? Two lovers decided that they will meet in that Plano Park at 5 p.m. and one arrived and the other did not. So this one is looking at the clock. I am here, she is not punctual. It's 5:30, so inconsiderate. 6 o'clock, she doesn't love me. 7 o'clock, okay, this is the end of it. I knew it because I sent 2 WhatsApps and she only sent 1 WhatsApp and it's all over now. So where there was adverse behavior, the love got destroyed. That was because it was selfish. And the test of selfless love is, no matter how the beloved behaves, it remains intact. Why? Because it is for the pleasure of the beloved. And that is selfless love, where you love God for His sake, not for your sake. John Kennedy had put it so well in the context of the country, where he said, ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. Likewise, true love would be where you don't ask God, what can you do for me? You say, oh God, what can I do for you? And that is where the concept of seva comes in. So he's saying, Nit seva mangu shama sham teri. Oh Shri Krishna, give me the opportunity to serve you. So, this idea of giving is contradictory to material consciousness. And as we make the transition to spiritual consciousness, we need to convince our intellect. Because the material consciousness is, what do I get? We want to maximize our net, whatever it is. And if I am giving, I am losing out. Why should I be so foolish as to go and give to God? So, the spiritual law of the universe is, in giving, you receive. God has created this little puzzle for all of us to solve in this lifetime, on the next, or after 100 lifetimes. That only when you learn to give will you be a true lover. And the interesting thing it is in giving that you will receive. Because God is not a conjuice. He is already a selfless lover. He says, oh soul, let us have a trade-off, a satta. You know, satta is a gamble. So in the world, they have these sattas at Diwali time. Okay, whom do you place your bet on? Supposing one beggar convinces one Arabpati, Seth ji, let us have a satta. All I have, I'll give it to you. All you have, you give it to me. And if Seth ji falls for it, who is going to gain and who is going to lose? The Seth ji says, all right, Bhikhari, let's go ahead. And the Bhikhari lifts his jholi and says, here, there's one 4 annas, one 8 annas, one 1 rupee coin, here. Seth ji says, what is kind of a joke is this? This is all I had, now you give me all you have. So the Seth ji will stand to lose. Now God is such a simpleton. He says, oh soul, I am willing to do such a satta with you. Which means what? You give what you have, I will give what I have. Now what does the soul have? A material body made of pus, blood, stool, urine, mucus. A material mind full of worldly desires, a corrupted intellect since endless lifetimes, and the worldly things, in any case, belong to God. God says, never mind. Whatever you have, you give it. Learn to start. And what I have, I will give you. And when God starts giving, He gives His divine knowledge, divine love, and divine bliss. And then we enter into this amazing relationship between the soul and God, a relationship of divine love. That is the highest thing. So, to be able to serve God, you need devotion. You don't serve God with the hands and feet. You serve God with love. He is saying, "Oh God, give me bhakti so I may serve you." Now a whistleblower comes along and says, "You are also asking?" One person is asking for the world, one person is asking for mukti, and you are asking for bhakti. So you are also asking. But the point is, the devotee is asking for bhakti, not for the self, but with the idea that I'll serve God with it. The goal is His pleasure, and hence such an intention is a pure intention. So he says, "Give me your nishkam bhakti." Let us see what else he's talking about. It's a very beautiful kirtan in many ways. Nit seva mangu shama sham teri na bhakti nahi mukti mangu main.
नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं
तो ही पतित जनन ही प्यारे हम अगणित पापन मारे
तू ही पतित जनन ही प्यारे हैं हम अगणित पापन मारे हैं
पुनिकत कर एतेक बेरी न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं
पुनिकत कर एतेक बेरी ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं
नित सेवा मांगू सेवा 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 मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं
नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं
Now he says, in the next lines we have just sung, "My Lord, you love the fallen souls." God has these titles, Patit Pavan, Savior of the fallen, Adham Udharanhar, Rescuer of the destitutes, Deen Bandhu, etc., etc. So I am a fallen soul. Now, why should we say we are fallen souls? A fallen soul is one who has committed sins. So we are sinners. You say, "What sin did I commit, Swamiji? I did not kill anybody. I did not steal." What sin are you talking about? This account of sins is not of one lifetime. It is of endless lifetimes. You see, the soul has its track record of so many lifetimes. which God knows we have forgotten. Dhritarashtra asked Shri Krishna after the Mahabharata. He said, Shri Krishna, what karmas did I do that my 100 sons died before my eyes? One child passing away is considered the biggest grief in this world. And Dhritarashtra had 100 sons passing away before his eyes. So he says, Shri Krishna, what karma did I do for this? Shri Krishna said, Dhritarashtra, in this life you did not do any such karmas. So, in past life, Dhritarashtra had this boon, he remembered 3 past lives. He said, in the past life also I didn't do any such drastic thing. The life before, well, I killed some cockroaches and all, but I don't think that counts like this. And the life before, once my car went over 2 puppies, but that also will not give this result. In the life before, I don't remember Shri Krishna. So Shri Krishna said, you remember 3 past lives. I have your account of endless lifetimes. So if we consider our endless lifetimes, if we did one sin in 3 lives, that means in infinite lives we've done infinite sins. So from that perspective, we are patit, we are fallen. And God is patit pavan, so He should save us. When He has a title, He should fulfill the title. Why is God not then gracing us? We are entitled to His grace. I am fallen, Shri Krishna, and you are savior of the fallen. Do your duty now. Shri Krishna says there are 2 shortcomings. The first is, O soul, you have never accepted that you are fallen. Now think about it. Do we really think that we are fallen? That feeling is just not there. So you have not accepted that you are fallen. And you have not accepted that I am the savior of the fallen. That faith is also not there. So both those faiths are missing from the heart, and that is why we are not getting the grace. So Kripaluji Maharaj is saying that, my Lord, please, I am trying to think that I am fallen, and you are the savior of the destitutes. Please grace me. So Shri Krishna can respond to that statement and say, O soul, I will definitely grace you, but I have a rule. You will have to come to my shelter. You will have to do Sharanagati. Then I will grace you. Now that is the rule of God. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat. You surrender to God and He will grace you. So, Kripaluji Maharaj says that if you are asking me, O soul, surrender to me, my Lord, it is easy for you to say such things. You are God, you are in a class of your own. And we souls know how difficult it is to surrender. We take the mind to you again and again, and again it gets distracted to the world. We try so hard to do your Roop Dhyan, but every time you disappear from our mind. So from your level you can say, O soul, surrender to me. But then we who have to put it in practice, we know it is no easy job. So can you not do a waiver of this? What do you mean by waiver? I grace you without your surrendering? Yes, Maharaj, How will that be? Maharaj, do you remember the episode about Putana? That Putana was a demoness whom Shri Krishna graced. So when Shri Krishna was born in the jail house of Kans in Mathura, now he arranged for his own exit. Have you ever heard of a child running away from jail the moment it is born? But Shri Krishna is spectacular in everything, and that's exactly what he did. First of all, the master of the universe chose to be born, take avatar in the jail. And immediately he instructed Vasudev that you take me over to Braj because Kans is going to come. He has killed, prior to this, 7 children. So Vasudev, he fulfilled the instructions and took Shri Krishna to Gokul. Now Kans came to know that this child has just disappeared, this little girl. And when Kans saw the little girl, he lifted her up in his hand to smash her down out of anger and frustration. And she slipped out and took the form of Mother Durga and said, Kans, you are thinking you're going to kill me. The child who will be your death has already been transferred to Braj. So Mother Durga let the secret out. You know, it is said that women can't easily keep secrets. Probably it's coming from Mother Durga herself. So Kans was now worried. He started sending his assistant demons to Braj. The first one he commissioned was Putana. He told Putana that, look, somewhere in Braj there is one child who is born, who is very dangerous. He is Brahma. Now we can't detect who he is because we don't have his biometrics with us. You do one thing. All the children born in the last 1 month, you just go and kill them all. In them, Brahma will be included. The Putana said, all right. She made herself extremely beautiful. So, you know, like God has got this huge Maya, the demons have a little Maya. So with the help of that, she made herself extremely beautiful. And she started moving from Mathura to Braj. And Shri Krishna at that time was 6 days old. Out here, Nand Baba, he told Yashoda, I have to go to Mathura to pay the annual tax to Kans. Kans was the Maharaj of the area. So he told Yashoda, I am going, and he left. And here Putana started coming. So Putana would have gone around killing all the Gwalbals. But Shri Krishna is residing in the heart of Putana as well. And he knows the intention with which Putana is coming. He thought these cowherd boys, they don't have the capacity to handle her. I need to intervene. So sitting in Putana's heart, he inspired her so that the scheme of killing, she began right from Nand Baba's house. Meaning she landed up there. Now Yashoda had Krishna in the Palna. And she was working when she saw an attractive, beautiful lady coming. She thought, is this Indrani, Rudrani? Who is this? Putana did not take anybody's permission. She just lifted up Krishna and put her breast into Krishna's mouth. So Shri Krishna, when he got Putana's breast, he closed his eyes. The Bhagavatam says, Krishna closed his eyes. Now Acharyas have written their commentaries. Why did Krishna close his eyes? Vallabhacharya has written something, Sridharacharya has written something. One says that Krishna said, what is this? In Ram Avatar, the first demon I had to kill was a lady, Tadaka. Again, the same sequence is going to unfold. One Acharya has written that Putana is avidya. And Krishna is Bhagavan. If he opens his eyes, then avidya will disappear. So the Leela will not happen. One Acharya says that Krishna closed his eyes to think, is there any good karmas that Putana did in past lives by which I can save her? So Kripaluji Maharaj says that actually Krishna closed his eyes to call Lord Shiv. Because Putana had put poison there. And Krishna said, I came into Braj to drink milk and butter and ghee. And what I am getting here is poison. Lord Shiv, you drank the ocean of poison, you please come. So he called Lord Shiv. And Lord Shiv came and drank of the poison. And then Shri Krishna pressed Putana's breast. And he pressed it so tightly and started drinking. Now after the poison was milk, so he started drinking the milk, but the pain was so much, Putana screamed, Sa muncha munchalamite prabhashini nishpidyamana khil jiva karmani vivitya netre charanau bhujau muhur prasvinnagatra kshipate rurodha. Putana screamed and came back into her original form, an ugly demoness. And she became huge. And she started flying in the air. But Krishna did not leave her. He just holding on to the breast and taking the milk. And everybody saw this. Yashoda turned around to see this demoness and Krishna on her chest. And she started flying in the air and finally she crashed. So when she came down, she was so big, many trees collapsed under her. And Krishna is still not leaving her, still holding her tight. All the residents of Braj came, oh my God, what happened to our dear Krishna? So they took him away from there and they said, oh no, we have to do something. Such inauspicious things. So they got the cow and wiped him with the cow's tail and put some cow urine and some dust of the cow's feet, etc. to ward off the evil spirit. But the point was now what to do with that huge body of Putana. So they took axes and cut it into small pieces. And the wood was already available because the trees had got squashed. So they made these funeral pyres, many of them, and started burning Putana's body. So because Krishna had touched her, the body got purified. And when they burnt it, it started emanating an amazing aroma. Now Nand Baba paid his taxes and he was returning. And he smelled the aroma and said, my God, what agarbatti have the residents of Braj started burning? So this episode took place on the 6th day. And that is why till today the Chatti is observed. So finally, when Krishna killed Putana, he sent Putana to his abode. Putana lok balaghani rakshasi rudhirasana jighansayapi haraye stanam datva pasad gatim. The Bhagavatam says, Shri Krishna bestowed his divine abode to Putana. So Kripaluji Maharaj is questioning Shri Krishna. He is saying, Shri Krishna, grace me. And Shri Krishna says, surrender to me. And Kripaluji Maharaj says, I will not surrender. I'm not able to surrender. Will you still grace me? And Shri Krishna says, on what basis do you ask? He says, I am referring to Putana's episode. Putana did not surrender to you, and yet you graced her. So despite all my defects and deficiencies, my Lord, please do an exception in my case as well. Let us, the next two lines refer to the episode I sang, and then we will go further. नित सेवा मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
यदि कह उन लई शरणाई रे, कहु कत पूतना गति पाई रे।
यदि उन लई शरणाई रे, कहु कत पूतना गति पाई रे।
अब बेरन करु करु चेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
अब बेरना करु करु चेरी, न मुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू सेवा 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 मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
ये भली है बुरी है जो है तेरी है, तुम भी सोचो सचमुच यह मेरी है।
ये भली है बुरी है जो है तेरी है, तुम भी सोचो सचमुच यह मेरी है।
सोचत ही बनी जाए तेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
सोचत ही बनी जाए मेरी, न मुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
नित सेवा मांगू श्याम श्याम तेरी, न भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
तेरी इच्छा में इच्छा बनाती रहो, तेरे सुख में ही सुख नित पाती रहो।
तेरी
चाह ही है एक मेरी, न मुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
बस चाह ही है एक मेरी, न भूखी नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं।
So now he says, may I keep making desires in accordance with your desire. Desire is such a terrible thing. The moment desire arises, the mind is disturbed. If desires are repeated, it leads to attachment, which means the clinging of the mind. Every mother knows how much of sorrow there is in getting attached to the child, because the child will then go here and there and the mother has only sorrow in the separation. So desire is the reason for misery. The Buddha analyzed it so nicely. He said, there are 4 golden truths. The first, there is suffering in this world. It's a golden truth. The second, the cause of suffering is desire. So he says this cause, the second is, this suffering has a cause. And the third, that cause is desire. And the fourth, if desire is finished, suffering will be finished. So in the Buddhist tradition, there's a huge effort to give up desire. The whole concept of vipassana is that. You sit like this from morning to night without eating. The legs say, can I move a little? No. Just tolerate it. Can I scratch a little? Don't. So it's like a huge effort to overcome desire from the grassroots level. Because if you finish desire, then all your miseries will end. The people ask me, Swamiji, what is the difference between the Vedic philosophy and the Buddhist philosophy? I say, look, the Buddhist philosophy is taking us from the minus y-axis to 0, give up desires. And the Vedas are taking us on the plus y-axis. They're saying give up desires, but also develop divine desires. The idea is not just to give up desires and become a piece of stone. God has created you and giving you this potential energy called desire, not that you destroy it, but you direct it properly. So create a desire in accordance with His desire. My Lord, what do you want? Shri Krishna says, I want a beautiful temple in Allen. Okay, we will work hard to do it. Your desire is my desire. See, that is what makes devotion so interesting. Otherwise, it is all about self-abnegation. Those who seek liberation, they want to eliminate desires. But on the path of divine love, you are embracing desires. You are taking the higher desires. Say, I will take on this responsibility for the sake of God. The liberation means running away from all responsibilities. That's the path of Jnana Yoga. And the path of Bhakti Yoga is, Shri Krishna, what responsibility can I take for you? And when we take on Shri Krishna's worries, divine worries, that is the best way of rising above our own puny material worries. When we cultivate divine desires, it is the best way of overcoming our lower, puny material desires. So the path of devotion, you increase your desires 1,000,000-fold. Now somebody who doesn't have a complete understanding of spiritual, desires, that is unholy, that is non-spiritual. But he's saying, I will desire, keep on desiring in accordance with your desire. So Shri Krishna, you desire that I become a better person, I'll make that my desire. But then you desire other things as well. So let me know what you desire, and I will make it my desire. Now this path is so interesting. And finally, the final verse is, Kripalaji Maharaj says, look, you are supposed to be causelessly merciful. O Shri Krishna, we have heard from poets and saints, Binu hetu sanehi. God loves without a cause, binu hetu sanehi. It's not that, okay, I am so beautiful, Shri Krishna, you love me. Or I've got a double PhD, Shri Krishna, you love me. Shri Krishna loves causelessly. Then why are you asking me to do sadhana? If you say, oh soul, you do sadhana, then I will grace you. Then that has become a cause. So if you are causelessly merciful, then why are you asking me to do sadhana? Then you grace me without any sadhana as well. So he is just playing around with God out here. And God says, look, I will grace you. But do you truly believe that I am causelessly merciful? We say, oh God, you are causelessly merciful, please grace me. My sadhana is all gadwad, but you please grace me in any case because you are causelessly merciful. God says, I will. But do you actually believe that I am causelessly merciful? Are you just saying it with your mouth? When we check our hearts, we say, I don't really believe it. Then you don't believe I am causelessly merciful and you want me to grace you? So the aim of sadhana is to develop that belief by purifying our hearts. In the meantime, the poet has taken a little liberty of taunting God as well. So let's sing these last 4 lines. Last 2 lines. Nit seva mangu shama shama teri na mukti nahi mukti mangu main.
Nit seva mangu shama shama teri na mukti nahi mukti मांगू मैं
बिनु हेतु कृपालु कहते हो पुनि क्यों साधन करवाते हो मुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं
सुनु विनय कृपालु जो मेरी न भूमि नहीं
सेवा मांगू क्षमा क्षमा तेरी न भक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं
सेवा मांगू क्षमा क्षमा तेरी न मुक्ति नहीं मुक्ति मांगू मैं.
All right, we will end with one kirtan. Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam, Shri Radha
Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam.
See, we said, oh God, I will not do sadhana, still you grace me. God says, don't do sadhana, but at least sing my names. Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
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 Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha 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 Sharanam,
Jai Ho.
Shri Radha Sharanam,
Radha 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 Sharanam, 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 Sharanam.
Radha 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 Sharanam, Shri Radha Sharanam.
Oh, Radha 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 Sharanam, Shri Radha Sharanam.
Radha 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 Sharanam, Shri Radha Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam.
Shri Guru Archa, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Shri Guru Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam. Everyone.
Shri Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Shri Guru Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Shri Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Oh, Shri Guru Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Shri Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam.
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam.
Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam.
Oh, Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam.
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 Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam. Everyone.
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam. Jai Ho.
Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar 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 Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna 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 Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam,
Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Radha Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam,
Oh Shri Guruvar Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam, Var Sharanam, Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam,
Shri Guruvar 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 Sharanam, Shri Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Guruvar Sharanam, Giridhar Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Shri Radha Sharanam, Shri Krishna Sharanam,
Srimad Yugal Sarkar ki, Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai
Srimad Satguru Sarkar ki! Swamiji, thank you so much. What a blissful Sunday satsang. Give another round of applause.
One person came to the Radha Krishna temple for the first time. And he said, I loved Swamiji's lecture, but I really woke up when Shreya announced it.
Well, a very warm welcome to each and everyone to Radha Krishna Temple Sunday Satsang. And we are so fortunate to have this special Sunday Satsang with Swamiji. Every Sunday from 10:30 to 12:30, we meet here and then we have Mahaprasad. I would like to take a moment to express gratitude to Yajman for today's Satsang. We have Brunal and Kishore Sonawane, Nishchal and Preeti Malhotra, Swati Bankar, Priyanka Pradhan, Jai Prakash Rajsram, Arun Garnik, Altra Singh, Archana Vasudevan and Karthik, Vijayapalan, Jhansi Venkat and Dara and family, Smita Manadiyar and Ananya Bhushan. Let's give them a big round of applause. We also have Mahaprasad sponsor, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or just feeling grateful, every Sunday you can celebrate and be with Radha Krishna and devotees. So for today's Preeti Bhoj, our heartfelt gratitude to Pediatric Associates of Frisco, Naren and Dr. Sri, Jyoti Charayulu and family, David Hicks and Dr. Kiran Arora. Thank you so much. May the blessings of God and Guru be with all our Yajmans and supporters. Also, fruits and flowers sponsored. We offer beautiful garlands and you have an opportunity to sponsor that. This week we have Archana, Vasudevan and Karthik. We have Vijayapalan, my screen is getting covered here. We have Ujjwala Singh, Prasad Casey, and I'm missing one more name, but would like to. We also have one more Mahaprasad sponsor, Lokhande family. And for fruits and flower, would like to thank Nanik Bhai Bhagya, Ujjwala Singh, Rajendra Prasad Casey, Archana Vasudevan, and Karthik Vijayapalan. Let's give everybody a big round of applause. All our Mahaprasad sponsor as well as Yajman, we will be doing the Aarti. Request you to come forward. We will start with Sitaramji Sarthi, followed by Radha Krishna and Kripaluji Maharaj.
चंद्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम कंदर्प गणित अमित छवि नवनील नीरद सुंदरम पटपीत मानव तड़ित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुधावरम भजु दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम सिर मुकुट कुंडल करदूषणम् इति वदति तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेषमुनिमनरञ्जनम् मम हृदय कञ्जनिवास कुरु कामादिकलदलकञ्जनम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणम् श्रीराम 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 श्रीराम। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। धून सिर कनक मुकुट जल के धूम श्रुति कुंडल बल अल के धूम दृग प्रेम सुधा चल के रसीले नैन रसीले नैन रसीले सैन धून में नन मनहारी के बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। धून दृग चितवनी परवारी धून लट लट कनी छवि न्यारी धून गोमट कनी अति प्यारी। रसन मुख पान असन मुस्कान रसन दम पान धून बेसर छवि न्यारी के बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। एक उर पीतांबर कर रे एक उर किया मर जन रे दूर उर लर मोतिन चर रे काकरन खनक कीन झलक नूपुरन भनक धून रुन जुन धुनि प्यारी के बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी नतवारी की। एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे एक सिर चूनरी छवि चाहे धूम सिर तिरछ बल द्राजे साक ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल बाह बल डाल कृपालु गुण दृग चारी के बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नतवारी की। जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की। गुरु वर नखमणि चंद्र दृष्टि बीच प्रेम का प्रकाश, वैसा ही विनोद वही मंजू मृदुहास, करे बस उच्च अट्टहास। जय हो रूही चले चाल वही नटवर की, गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की, गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की। जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की, गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की, गाओ मेरी आरती रसिक वर की।
बोलिए श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की, जगत गुरु श्री कृपाल जी महाराज की, उमापति महादेव की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, श्री दुर्गा माता की, श्री राधा कृष्ण मंदिर की, जय जय श्री राधे।